this is a fairly, we don't know each other. We're trying to get to know each other. I'm kind of doing a lot of the legwork considering you are giving me your time, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much to everybody that's here. It's a lot of pressure. It feels more like pressure now that there are more eyes, which is weird to say. Picking up where we left off last week, we are going to go straight into our writing prompt. Okay, so last week's writing prompt was a world where no one sleeps. Right? Let's see what we got out of this. Okay, messy covers, corrupted lovers, angry sisters, disloyal brothers, happy rage, freedom in a cage. Tucked away, safe but vulnerable, the shadows hide familiar faces, distant memories of faraway places. I used tos and what ifs echo in those spaces. The moment between seconds, hollow, empty. Not a soul makes a peep. A dark and lonely world, a world where no one sleeps. Forgotten dreamers surrendered their fires. A world I would love to see inspired. You see, rest is for the wicked. The plotters and the schemers get tired. The zombies and the vampires are for me, fighting with all their hope, trading time for growth. How slow and dreary it may be, there is a world only the hopeful see. In the mud, trudging through, these night owls learning the who's who. Their stories unpretty, but that's okay. Just imagine how great that sleep will be one day. Again, I have no idea where these things are coming from, but I'm having fun writing them. So there's that. And considering it's how I close off the episodes on my side, it's quite a fun exercise in and of itself. So, how you guys doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? It's cold. I'm not enjoying it. Um, yeah, man. I think I was wrong. I think I was very wrong. I think I thought that the circle of consequence that I was in was something that was going to make sense to me, and it has not. It will not, and that's okay. Also, an update on the not talking is making thought happen more often. So now there's a need to actively process. So I'm walking more, and because I'm walking more, yeah, I'm having board meetings with myself a lot more often, which is very weird. But it's been healthy. It's been fun. It's definitely something that I should be doing. I think there's a lot to work through, which I think is also very important. It's also helping me. I don't want to say move because that sounds weird, but like progress. It's helping me know my direction and kind of build on momentum and stuff like that. So that's quite fun as well. Um, the the playlist is something that I'm really enjoying. I noticed there's a couple of like favorites of mine that are not on there, so that's what we're getting this week. And I also need to re-recommend the first playlist from last year, just because that's where we started, and this is something that I need to do. But yeah, the the difficulty or the thing that I've been experiencing the thing that I've been experiencing difficulty in is when it comes to why, how, and what it is, or rather, no, I mean it's it's correct how it is that we're talking about things. Sometimes that's also frustrating. Um, hmm. I'm not attempting to explain myself, even though it sounds like that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing what's happening in my head. Now, a lot of what it is that's happening in my head is to make sense of what it is that I'm experiencing for myself, which I don't know if everybody does that, but in my head, that's what my head does. So I'm trying to pay attention to the fact that there's these knock on effects that seem to happen with the decisions that I make. as everybody's life should allow them to experience. But there is a certain sense of momentum that is playing catch up with me because of how long it was gone for. So there's almost like this Energizer Bunny type energy that is inside of me that's now flowing out of me and into the world around me. And because of that, I'm trying not to give it to the world because for me, it's energy that I need to use for myself at this moment in my life. And partly it's because of the walks that I've been able to do. I've been able to focus what it is that I want, why it is that I want it, and for what purpose, to what purpose, whichever way. And it it's forced certain other things to kind of become quiet and in turn make more room for myself, which is a very it's a peculiar thing to experience because if it's the way I've always been, it means there's another thing that I'm doing that gets in the way of that, which sucks. Like properly, it sucks because I don't know. I think that's quite important. I think it's quite relevant to who it is that I am as a person. And yet, if it's in the way, it means I need to do other things first, which means I can't do these things simultaneously. This is problematic because they bleed into one another and they should, right? So, again, a question that's in the middle of nowhere that makes no sense. And like always, we're just going to change topic whenever my brain kind of comes up with a different thought. So, it's weird being on camera again. Again. It's weird being on camera again, and this time having the level of control that I have, making the types of decisions that I have, but also taking the control out of it because my favorite episodes are the episodes that are kind it sounds weird if I say it's off the cuff, but in my head it's things that are popping up while I'm speaking in front of the camera, things I've wanted to speak about that I haven't spoken about, but it's also what I think makes sense to me in the moment that I'm recording the episode, which is ironic because I also don't think that there's pretty much any answer. So I need to now directly say it. None of what I say is advice. It's all based on what it is that I experience, what it is that I've learned, and even that is skeptical at best because apparently this is something that needs to be said. Um, but realistically, with the premise of what it is that the show is about, this is a fairly we don't know each other. We're trying to get to know each other. I'm kind of doing a lot of the legwork considering you are giving me your time, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much to everybody that's here. It's a lot of pressure. It feels more like pressure now that there are more eyes, which is weird to say, but it's only because of the fact that there were targets that I set for myself, and in setting those targets for myself, I'm like, is it good enough? Da, 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 da. And then with the whole being impressed and awestruck by MrBeast and all of that, there's a interview that he done on Diary of a CEO where he shares stuff about himself. He just speaks on his own life, and man, oh man, I don't think I'm mentally ready to get there, and I don't think I might ever, because different people, different strokes for different folks, type of thing. So there is that. I don't think I need to be the biggest. I know no one wakes up and says they want to be number two, but like, man, we don't have to be all. We don't all have to be main characters every single day of our lives, and I'm okay with that. Not because of the fact that I don't think I'm a main character. It's just in this one specific instance of my life, this is a very interesting journey that I think for myself is teaching me a lot about me, and I'm grateful for that. And realistically, whether you think it's a surface thing or a deep thing, completely up to you. You can decide that. Um, it is weird to experience growth in front of people that I might never meet. That's weird. That's the first piece that doesn't make sense. It's the thing I didn't consider could happen. And then the second part is I think I haven't really worked towards the name of the podcast because it's how are we connecting? How are we connecting? Not how am I trying to connect with you or how are you trying to connect with me, but just more what is the value behind the connection? Have you been writing? Have you been trying certain stuff? Is any of the stuff that I've said in the episodes relevant to what's going on in your life? Has the playlist helped? You know, there's all of these weird things that I've tried as this journey has gone on. And I'm falling a little bit behind in terms of I want to hit the 52 episode thing so I can say that I've at the very least made a year's worth of content, which is a weird thing to say because it seems like a simple enough thing considering I'm speaking about what's going on in my head. But it's like, man, yeah, when at any point that I've worked a job, I've always started not knowing. With this, it's weird because I'm taking longer to learn certain things and then implement those very same things. And with trying to implement, I don't know, concepts, things that you think will work, not things that anybody has told you would work, not things that are guaranteed to work, not things that are even likely to yield a result. You'd have to do them for long enough in order to see a result, which patience is a lesson I am learning. I am not a master of, that type of thing. And then again, you pay attention to the people that are in the spaces, the kings and queens of the spaces. And one of the things that MrBeast said, which again from a different podcast probably years ago that just made its way to my feed, was before you worry about anything else, make 100 pieces of content changing one thing per episode. Tried it. It's difficult. It's difficult when you like what it looks like, or you think this needs to change, or you think I don't have to change anything, and then you gotta do something because you have to get just that little, that 1%, that atomic habits 1% better, and it doesn't always happen on the ones that feel like it. I mean, for me, one of the turning points that I enjoyed about the podcast, and sorry if it's a little bit of a dump about the podcast, but it's just, I don't really speak to anybody about this. There's a point where there was an episode that I dropped that was just after I'd gone fishing, and I thought it was going to be one of my worst episodes because I was low, I spoke softer, I spoke slower. The episode felt very, very unfinished. But that was one of the first unscripted, probably closest to what I can refer to as raw episodes. And that was the thing that was like, okay, maybe you should actually climb into this sensation a little bit more. And that is also difficult because it's how do you build a space where you don't have complete control? Because there's a certain element of it's not for everybody, it's not for everyone, it's for this very specific group of people that respond to this. And the irony is that's bonding, that's connecting, right? Most of what it is that I'm learning is if you don't know something, you can figure it out, or you can figure out what you don't know, and that's just as important. It's listen, I apologize, I actually don't know how to connect with you. Listen, I know this thing that I find super interesting is something that doesn't matter to you, and that's okay. But there's also the other side, or the sides of, okay, this is what I'm interested in. Cool, what are you interested in? Let me know. And like geek out, nerd out, trip out, like whatever. If your autism takes you that way, let it happen. Like do that thing. I love people that are passionate about something, even if it's a silly thing to them, because they can't imagine that another person doesn't know anything about it. But we all have our weird little quirks and quips, and I think that's the important part. Whether that's from all of the animes that I'm watching, whether that's from the life lessons or the people that I've grown to call my friends, maybe that's what it's about. I know flaws. I understand positive, strong, solid character traits. But the duality of understanding both of them at the same time is what's important. And that's difficult. It's difficult to hold the ability to forgive to people that you know exactly how they're going to betray you. It's difficult to forgive once the betrayal occurs. It's difficult to forget. Simply put, the difficult thing for me is the forgetting part. My mind doesn't work that way. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And we learn. We practicing, right? We learning. Everybody thinks you have to have it figured out. I'm noticing that the secret is in recognizing when you don't. Thriving. Being excited, being nervous, being scared while you are kind of in that middle space. Okay? So while we are in this middle space, I'm going to jump to the music rec. So, because I have a nice little dead space here. So we're going to do playlist 1, which is from last year. This is not getting any more tracks. This is as it's going to be. This is just if you're in the mood, right? The current one, this is what we're busy editing and adding tracks to. That is where all of the new song recommendations are going to. And this time, like I said earlier, we are going to my favorites. This has got a lot less to do with just adding stuff to the playlist that fall in line with the playlist, but more about the fact that this is music that speaks to me, right? Now, Marlon Croft, he started us off on this playlist, so I'm gonna add another one by him. It is Pavement. Okay, this is from the Space album, which is an old album. Uh, yeah, look out, it's good music. Um, and then, funny enough, even though his album is called Space, the next track is also called Space, but this time it's by Audrey Nuna. I haven't found another song by her that sounds like this, but wow, what a song! Then all of these are old, by the way. This is probably like 2021, 22 ish, maybe even 2017 on some of the tracks. But yeah, then mm, don't knock the track when it starts. Listen to the whole song so that you can appreciate it. The next one is When I Met You by Lemon featuring Sean Leon. Sean Leon. One of the two. But yeah, that is track number 3. Then a solid favorite of mine. This is a guilty pleasure on my earphones. North Face by Odie. Just lovely. And then anybody that listened to the first playlist knows that I'm an Emok fan. But this is one of my favorite Emok tracks, and it is T. And then 2 optional extras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 2 optional. No, it's gonna be in the playlist. One is Lockheed Martin by Rex Lifrage, and then the last track that I'm adding for this week is gonna be Remember Me by Umi. Right, said Fred. Okay, so that is the music recs for this week. So yeah, it's been fun. I think I need to find a I need to find a creative outlet that I don't share with anybody. Like journaling is not it's because of the writing that I'm doing here, it doesn't feel like journaling is doing the thing for me. I suck at drawing. I should probably maybe learn that skill. That should maybe be something that I look at. And then maybe woodwork. I need to figure out something like that. Yeah, but what is the creative thing that is your go to in order to let off steam? Right? Let's see how many creatives are following. Because in my head, I don't know if I would call this creative, but it is because I'm creating. So there's that. But this is more work. Well, it's play, but it's work. It's stuff that I need to have done a particular way, considering I'm handling the entirety of the process. So it's a lot. So yeah, recommendations in the comments, please. Also, um, I have to do a reminder. The podcast is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, YouTube. I never know how to do this thing. The random plug in the middle of stuff. At the Ordinary Connection. I think on Apple Podcast and Spotify, it's at the Ordinary Connection podcast. Okay. Listen. Don't listen. Tell your friends. Don't tell your friends. please tell your friends. Like, let people know about it. It's really, really fun. Like I said 2 episodes ago, the new target is 10,000. Whether it takes 2 years, it's gonna take 2 years. But that's the target. That's what we're now moving towards. If there's anything that you'd like to see, I'd love to hear about it. Also, like, I need to build this feedback thing. I did ask about the live episode thing, and I did ask about how keen the event thing is, but we'll deal with that when we deal with that because we have time. There's more than enough time. And then cannot forget, cannot forget. Okay, so we need to move forward in our little book of recommendations for what it is that our prompt is going to be about. The POV of your in this is we're switching concepts again. Okay, so with this one, we're gonna do a little bit of an odd thing. So you're gonna write, man, it's weird. You're gonna write from the POV of your enemy, right? So from the point of view of your enemy, but it's your reflection that's walking out of a mirror. That's the scenario painted or created for us to start the prompt. I don't know if you're going to critique yourself or love yourself. That's going to be interesting. This is going to be a fun therapy session. But yeah. Okay, so that's our writing prompt. In closing, just before I say goodbye, I think I would like to say I hope that it's not weird being a part of something as simple as someone processing their thoughts. I hope it's not weird. I hope that it is something that more people can get used to. I hope that it becomes normal, without there being any quid pro quo or trade off. I think that's very, very important for us to learn. Um, I definitely think something that something that's frustrating me, something that is standing. No, let's not do that. Something that is standing out is I think a lot of relationships are transactional, and I don't think they need to be, but I think it requires us to be different people in order to transition out of that. I think it is a stuck thing, you know, statue, da 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 da, right? It is a moment that a lot of people get stuck in, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't grow out of. So yeah, let's work on that. Let's see what that looks like over the course of the next 7 days, and hopefully it helps us connect better, even if it's just with ourselves, right? Just a single people. But let us stay curious, stay kind, and stay connected. Keegan out. This is gonna be fun.